Okay, so something that in the fandom for a while now has been addressed as problematic is the fact that the new Saiyans from Universe 6 have very easily gone Super Saiyan and even beyond at this point. I mean, starting from Kaba, when Vegeta taught it to him very briefly in the Universe 6 tournament, bam, dude was a Super Saiyan. Then we had Caulifla with the tingling back sensation shit, bam, Super Saiyan. Kale going into that Berserk, Broly-esque transformation, and even, you know, tanking Kamehameha Super Saiyan Blues, which we already talked about that particular portion. But it's been fairly easy for these people that, you know, going through this transformation shouldn't be that easy, considering, well, depending on how you look at it, considering the fact that Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, a lot of those characters, they really struggled to get to that transformation. But, I mean, let's break it down for a second. Let's start looking at different aspects of going Super Saiyan and people that have done it before. Because you gotta remember that after those characters, there were Goten and Trunks that went Super Saiyan, right? And Goten and Trunks seemingly went Super Saiyan fairly easy. So those were the first ones that we argued back and forth saying, hey, how the hell did they go Super Saiyan? It was so easy for them. For the longest time, we argued and used the point of, well, maybe in the Dragon Ball world, genetics is different, and the fact that Goku and Vegeta were way stronger and they were both Super Saiyans at that particular point when they conceived these children, maybe that's why they came out extra strong and were able to go Super Saiyan fairly easily. So that was the argument that for years upon years the fandom used as to why those two in particular were able to go Super Saiyan quick. We don't have that argument for these characters, Kaba, Caulifla, and Kale. It was like, hey, they're going Super Saiyan, right? But here's the thing, because, okay, for one, let's just say the Goten and Trunks argument, again, you can't really use it. Nonetheless, they still went Super Saiyan fairly easy. But with these characters, you gotta look at it, they're from Universe 6. Their planet Vegeta, or planet Salad, I guess you could say, is very different from the planet Vegeta from Universe 7. For starters, our planet Vegeta, you know, the Saiyan planet, has been gone for many, many years. Their planet still exists to this day, if I'm not mistaken. You know, they're still doing things. Their planet isn't oppressed by a tyrant known as Frieza, where they kind of had to just go on missions and shit like that, and that's how the Saiyans were getting stronger, you know, on our side. But nevertheless, they were able to grow, thrive, and prosper in peace in a way, because they didn't have somebody looking over their shoulders saying, yo, y'all better, you know, bow down to me, y'all my dogs, and having to do their bidding. So there's a very, I guess, in a way, simple explanation if you really wanted to dive into as to why it's not necessarily an ass pool. I mean, I think it's very, very extreme, and I do think that to a certain degree there's problematic aspects to it. But as far as these Saiyans going Super Saiyan, here are some of the reasons why it does kind of makes sense, why they can do it a lot easier than Goku, Vegeta, and so on and so forth. Again, one, their planet has been around for many years after Planet Vegeta. So, you know, when our Saiyans died, pretty much since Goku was born up until now, they still had their planet. So they had a lot more time to develop and, you know, grow and evolve, so to speak. They're not the same people, the same weaklings, so to speak, that our Planet Vegeta had at that point. Also, too, they didn't have the tyrant known as Frieza, or any tyrant for that matter, holding them down, not allowing them to become what they ultimately became. I mean, one of the big reasons, right, why Frieza got rid of the Saiyans to begin with was he was kind of scared of them. He was scared that one of them, or many of them, were going to able to one day achieve the Super Saiyan transformation, or just get strong to the point where they could possibly overthrow him. Now, Frieza, being the crafty motherfucker that he is, you gotta think, in his base form, which I don't really like to get into the power level talk, but in his base form, he was 500,000, which is leaps and bounds above what the Saiyans on Planet Vegeta were. Like, you know, what King Vegeta was maybe like a 10,000 or some shit like that. Like, he was leaps and bounds, but the fact that he thought maybe one day they could get to my level shows that they had the potential. And again, going back to Planet Salad and shit like that, they had all of these years to meet that. Another big thing is, we didn't really have the information, the access to that. You know, Goku, Vegeta, none of them, all they knew was there was the legend of the Super Saiyan. They didn't know anything more. They didn't have any instruction manual or anything like that on how to achieve that. Goku did it on a freak accident, in a sense, because my best friend just died. I'm so fucking mad right now. And he raged and got that point. And then Vegeta kind of used that as a blueprint to get there. And then so on and so forth. They had a blueprint to that. The Saiyans of Universe 6 had a straight up manual. Hey, Vegeta said, do this, 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 and this. Then Caulifla had Kaba telling her straight up, even though it kind of seems weird. And, you know, again, maybe I'm coming up with these excuses, and at the end of the day, it's just all bullshit. And if you perceive it that way, then hey, so be it. But Kaba was right there to say, yo, this is how you do it. okay, let's practice on doing it. They didn't have somebody to really tell them, hey, this is how you do it. Only Gohan at that particular point, you know, because he already had people prior to him achieve the Super Saiyan transformation. He was the only one that really had it. And I guess you could argue, in comparison to Goku and Vegeta, Gohan had it more easier to get into the Super Saiyan transformation because he was just in a hyperbolic time chamber for about a year or so, and he got there. Is it quick? Is it ridiculous, the fact that Caulifla went from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2 in a flash? Absolutely. I really won't really, you know, debate on that. You could argue, hey, she's a prodigy or some shit like that, but it is ridiculous that she went from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2 in a very, very quick time. But then again, when you got the instruction manual right there, it's a lot easier. So that's pretty much the reasons why I would argue that, yeah, it seems bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But there is some explanations behind it. There is some reasoning that you could argue as to why the whole big debacle, why people are like, you know, shitting on Super for the Super Saiyan transformations now becoming a joke. Well, there's some reasons behind it. It's not necessarily completely bullshit. Really curious what you guys think about all this, the points that I laid forth regarding the Super Saiyan transformation and, you know, Caulifla, Kale, and Kaba. Kale is just a whole other story. I mean, she's, again, a freak accident in and of herself when she goes into that Berserker mode. But what do you think? Do you think that even everything that I listed and everything you may know regarding what's gone on in Super, do you still think it's bullshit of them being able to tap into that Super Saiyan transformation with such ease? Also, what do you think about Caulifla going Super Saiyan 2 with such ease? Do you think that it's just all bullshit and hey, you could give whatever reason you want as bullshit? Or do you think that maybe some of that does have some validity to it? Kind of curious of your thoughts on this and your overall thoughts on the Super Saiyan transformation. Has it been devalued and not necessarily as impressive as it once was in Dragon Ball Z? But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.